Eric, the Swiss Army knife. I want to talk to you about the Navigator, and I have a 2004, and I think 2003 to 2006 are very much the same. They have the air suspension system, and it's really a beast. For you DIYers that don't want to spend the money at Ford and spend some outrageous numbers, if you have the money, buy the ones from Ford. If not, then you're going to have to go through a little bit of hopefully learning from my trauma that I had, and that is I have a really good auto repair guy that knows the cars and what should and shouldn't happen. But what I did was ordered the shocks and the air suspension bags separately, and that's okay. But sometimes they'll send you sets, which I did get one from Amazon that was a set, left and right, and they ended up being 2 lefts and an airbag kit. So what I'm going to suggest to you is a couple of things. One is, don't replace, unless you suspect them, don't replace the air suspension sensors until you know they're bad. There's a couple of really good videos out there that show you, if you take them and disconnect them and you move them up and down, you'll see them engage and disengage the air suspension motor. That's good enough to check to make sure they're okay, and then go and inspect the fronts and the rears. Now, the one thing that they're doing now is sending you shocks that have no oil fill reservoir on the side. And I'm going to show you that right now as we speak, and then they're straight. So you can put them on left and right without a problem. But the ones with the oil reserve, which are the factory ones, and I don't know, nobody's been able to tell me outside of calling Ford and asking them, because they're not going to know, because all they carry is the oil-filled ones, the cavities on the side. So whether those are beefier, long-lasting, better ride, I don't know that. So the ones from Amazon, I got the fronts, but the rears, the fronts have the oil-filled old-school reservoir on them. The rears are clean. They don't have anything. They're straight tubes, and they're like Monroe shocks or what have you. But I suggest that you buy the pre-built one with the cap, the bladder, the shock, all together as one unit. Your auto mechanic will love you for that. So I'm going to turn this around and show you what I'm talking about. So here is from Amazon one of these monsters. It's all a completed unit. This is the oil reservoir I'm talking about right here. The rear ones come without one. I couldn't find one. Now if you go to A1 Auto or some of these other places, you're going to see fronts and rears that are complete systems that have the oil reservoir. But I kind of figure that they're starting to get away from that because they've caused so much trouble. This cap on the top with a bolt and everything, that's going to need to be replaced also, so don't overlook that. The kit that I bought came with all 3 of these pieces, the cap, the bladder, and the shock separate. It made it a little bit more difficult. Also, you get the relay, the little valve solenoid. So this is the old one. We got the new one, and when we put the new one in, it had the car set a little bit differently. And if you have a really expensive machine, you may be able to adjust the reference of how the car sits. So for now, leave these alone. Unless your bladder's good, everything's been replaced, and they sit too low, one of these might be bad. We tried replacing both of them, and we found that this little lever here was about a 3/16 larger, which made it sit lower. So for now, we're going to leave it and see how it goes.